Dee Murthy, thank you for kind of joining me on Game Changers today.
Cool, thanks for having me.
Yeah, I was just kind of off camera, just kind of letting you know about what Game Changers is and kind of like why I'm doing it. And it's been like, it's super refreshing to see someone that has come so far in the industry, but I think understands like giving back to the industry and really like being a voice and like a role model for people that don't have the insight that you have now.
Yeah.
And that was like a huge point when I was talking to Eric Deluxe. Like, shout out Eric for helping me get this, because you know you were someone that I was really looking at coming in on here. But before we kind of get into your story, I wanted to kind of like get onto like why you believe that's so important, why that's like important to your kind of brand.
Yeah, I think thinking of it in two ways. One, selfishly, I was thinking of ways to connect with our customer.
Mm-hmm.
And, we've had the privilege of having these huge mega brand partnerships, A-list celebrities.
Yeah.
We've done, we've been on 16 years. We've kind of worked with a lot of different people.
Yeah.
And we've had varying success in different partnerships and different things. But what I realized what isn't happening today with a lot of older brands is they're not emotionally connecting to their customer.
Yeah.
So, like, when you think about brands that are doing well in fashion, let's take Virgil Abloh and Off-White.
Crazy. Shout out to Virgil.
Yeah.
Huge news this week.
Huge, right? But the thing about it is, you're not connected to Off-White, his brand. You're connected to him.
Virgil, yeah.
You are, wherever he goes,
Mm-hmm.
the fan goes with him.
Yeah.
And I started realizing that that's something that our brand lacked. It didn't have a personality to connect with.
Yeah.
And then I started thinking, oh, what celebrity could we do that with? Who can I do that with in my staff?
Yeah.
And then I realized, crap, it should be me.
Yeah.
Or
it's the only person that's going to continue to always be there. You never know what's going to happen with a celebrity.
Yeah, and more importantly, my story and my partner's story and our journey is relatable and attainable.
And represented in your product.
Yes. And so like that whole connection is so real, because like if I told you, why we did a Chris Paul collab, it's because he's our friend. It's not like because I was like, oh, it would be great if we could work with Chris Paul one day. Let's just write him a big check. No, he came to us and asked us, let's do something.
Wow, Chris Paul came to you.
Yes, like we tried to do something with him 7 years ago. Nike and Jordan blocked it.
Yeah.
He then came back and said, hey man, I'm about to redo my Jordan deal.
Yeah.
Let's do something together.
Let me figure out a deal that allows me to work with you guys as well.
Exactly. And like we didn't tell that story when doing that partnership.
Yeah.
Or even most recently stuff with some of the big designers we've worked with. There's like a personal relationship that we've built with these guys over the years, became our friends, then we worked together.
Yeah.
So then I start thinking, that's the story we should be telling.
Yeah.
Like, why is this person working with this guy? And really tell you our journey, because it's pretty, like, we're regular ass dudes that have built this incredible business.
Huge.
So like anyone can do it. And that to me is how I'm going to connect with the customer, because the traditional things of like product placement and celebrities, that anyone can do. But if I told you the whole story of FiveFour, you're going to be like, damn, that's crazy. That actually is possible.
Yeah.
And that's how I feel like we can connect to. And the thing is like when you go discover a piece of content, let's say someone sees this video and never heard of our brands, never heard of me, never heard of anything we've done. We'll then go like, hey man, that guy's kind of interesting. What does he do for a living?
Yeah.
And then the discovery process goes, man, oh, those shoes are cool they make. Oh, that activewear. You may not make a purchase right now. Maybe in a year from now, you'll be like, oh, that guy from the podcast actually had a pretty cool brand. I'm going to go check it out. And that's really the way that we feel that we can target a large audience of people going forward, is through content. And the content that's most relatable, that I think we can benefit people with, is our story and our journey. Because as a person in the industry, everyone's full of shit. No one shares real information.
No, and that's the truth. And that's why it's so refreshing to hear and see you share real information, you know, because most people hide that away because they're so worried about people stealing their ideas or what's going on.
Yeah.
which is not the way.
Yeah, and I've always been very transparent with information, because at the end of the day, ideas are, a dime a dozen. It's execution.
Yes.
So I could tell you who I'm going to work with, what I'm going to do, but you still got to do it. And so that's why I'm not insecure about our business or what we do.
Yeah.
So I'm always happy to share information if it could be helpful.
Yeah.
And frankly, I believe in the karma, right? Like, I'd rather help someone put people together, and then it'll pay me back at some point in life.
Yeah.
And it has. Like, there's so many instances where, like, the benefit of good energy has helped our business survive in tough times.
Yeah. And
I don't have an answer for why that happened. All I can say is, you know what? We were good to people, so people have been good to us.
And like longevity of a business, like FiveFour's been 16 years or so.
Yeah.
It's like you can't last that long without having some good luck along the way.
Yeah,
and without having people look out for you in the right time.
Yeah.
And I think that's what shows in, your product and also your network and your relationships is everything I've ever heard about you has been like, yo, Dee's the man. He's just such a good guy. Like whenever you reach out, he's like there to help you and there to do stuff.
Because so many people have been there for us, and like you just have to. And this is the thing that, like, one of the reasons why I really wanted to put content out there and share that you can be like the way I operate and still be successful is I started seeing, like, 5-6 years ago, everyone idolized Steve Jobs.
Yeah.
And he's going to be the most transformational person of our generation in terms of what product he created. But I don't like the way he lived his life. Like,
by no means. You watch the movies, you read the books, and it's like, how does a person like that live with themselves? But two, like, that kind of lifestyle will come back and get you.
And it did.
It did.
And like his arrogance didn't get himself checked in from a health perspective. He didn't make the lifestyle changes needed. So for him to live, like, you can't beat life.
Even that mentality, like that mentality of like always being trying to like fuck someone over or do something that's like, let's like get rid of their company. That mentality and that like strain on your body.
Yeah.
I don't think people understand the lifestyle that the effect that lifestyle can have on you.
Yeah, and I remember when that book came out, everyone read it and everyone was super inspired. And I remember telling, I think I told Drama, and I was like, you know what I realized after reading that book? I don't want to be great. Yeah. I'm content with good.
Yeah.
I don't want to be bad.
That's an interesting comment, though, like saying that you don't want to be great, you just want to be good.
I'm not willing to make the sacrifices.
Yeah.
From a personal level and hurt other people so I can benefit. Because, like, I want the piece, like, now that I'm married and I have a kid, I literally think, man, if I do this, like, if I run this red light, is it going to affect my child?
Yes.
And then I'm like, you know what? It does not matter to me anymore. I don't want to ever be put in a situation where someone else will be put down because of my success.
Yeah.
So because of the fear of, like, the karma affecting my child. And so I'm totally different view of the world now.
Have you seen that impact of people? And I'm sure you have, because you're the circles you run in. The impact of people's fight to be great, and the fact that it takes away from everything else in their life.
100%. I mean, I'm friends with so many very successful entrepreneurs, and I'm not envious of them in any which way.
Yeah.
They fly private jets. They're billionaires. They're on the Forbes, whatever.
Yeah.
And I look at them and I'm like, man, I am not jealous of you in any way.
Yeah.
Like, sure, you want to offer me a ride once in a while?
Yeah.
I'll hop on the plane.
Yeah. For sure.
You have a sick beach house in Malibu? I'll come hang out.
Yeah.
But I don't want to be you because I'm not going to ruin my personal relationships, family relationships, and like you say, like, when people ask about me, they have always said positive things. That's important to me.
Yeah.
Because, like, I want to be like, I want to have friends, and I want to be able to do anything I want and not be precluded by something I did in the past.
Has that always been your mentality, though, or is that like a change as you've gotten older?
I think it's genuinely been part of my mentality. I mean, like, my parents are Hindu, and karma is the whole religion, really, right? So, like, how you treat people.
Definitely.
And that's how my parents raised us, was like, you can't do bad to anyone.
Yeah.
If you do, it will, you will get your payday.
It's like the golden rule.
Yeah, and so the thing is people don't apply that to business. I know people who will literally say and do anything they want all the time and think it's okay because it's just business. Yeah. It's business. It's not personal.
Especially here in LA, I feel like.
And you see those people like short term, sure. Everyone's like, man, they did it, and I'm just like, I'll wait. I'll see how the whole world plays out.
Who's standing by you in the times when you actually need someone? Yeah. Where every person that you've really grown relationships have just been to get a one up on them.
Yeah, and I always say like, you can judge someone on their conscious on how they sleep, and I sleep great. Yeah, you know what I mean. Like, it take me 4 seconds to fall asleep.
I'm same. Everyone, I was like, "Yo, how did you fall asleep in that place?" I'm like, "I'll fall asleep anyway."
Yeah, because I don't have anything weighing on my head that I'm like, "Oh my God, I did this." Yeah, and I have to deal with this, for the rest of my life. Yeah, and I think like that mentality for a lot of young people because of who they admire, these like titans of industry. Yeah. And if you actually read into their stories, they've all done very questionable things, in my opinion, to get to that point.
And people don't understand that a lot of the people that they look up to as like inspiration role models, they don't understand that that person might not be happy. You know what I mean? Like, just by having the success doesn't make you happy. Yes. And like you said, being good and a tear down and happy,
yes, is worth it. Is
way worth it.
Yeah, I mean, like, because I know very successful young people and I know very successful older people. Yeah. And happiness is something that a lot of them, when I see them, sure, they're happy on a plane and they're happy with whatever situation they're in, but I don't feel like joy when I'm around them. You know what I mean? Yeah. They're very intense people. And great, like, sure, that's the way you want to operate and everything is serious and whatever. But like, if you really break it down, you're like, you're only alive once. So what's the point? Like, who cares if you have a lot of money, a little money, no money? Just be happy. So true. Because I always look at it like when you're on the weird thing to think about, but when you're at the tail end of your life and you reflect on it, what are you going to actually be like? I always read I was reading Phil Knight's book, and he was saying that his greatest regret is one of his sons passed away from a freak scuba diving accident. Crazy, yeah. And he was like, my biggest regret is I did not spend more time I took because he was so busy.
Time is all you have. Time is all you have.
Exactly, and busy spending so much time building Nike, which obviously brought so much joy to so many people and an incredible business, and he's done so much for the community and all that. But his regret is like, damn, I should have.
Yeah. When you really look at your life, it's a very short and small group of people that really matter to you. And like you said, like when you pass, that's what you're gonna value.
Yeah, you're gonna be like, you're gonna be sitting there and you're gonna be like, man, I should have spent more time with my child.
And your kids are gonna be like, yeah, I got a bank account, but I didn't really know my dad.
Yeah, and it's the same thing. Like, our office is in the heart of LA, and my wife's like, "Oh, let's move to the valley, or let's move to the suburbs and get a big house, and like, live that traditional family life." Yeah, I'm like, that's great for you. Yeah, but like, I'll never see our child then again. Yeah, because I'll be driving an hour and a half each. Because that was my dad. Yeah, we lived in the suburbs. And he had to go to downtown every day. Yeah. Cool, we had a great life because we had a backyard with a basketball hoop.
But your son's asleep by the time you get home, and you have to leave earlier in the morning. You don't get to play with him in the morning and feed him breakfast.
Yeah, so I look at things like that now with like, with a very different lens. Yeah. And I equate all those things to success, and I'll tell him, like, we'll get to that point. Yeah. Like, we'll get those things, but like right now, I'd rather spend time.
I love that.
Like, I'd rather, like, he goes to sleep at 7 o'clock. Yeah. Like, and I get home at 6. I got 45 minutes. Yeah.
And it's probably the best 45 minutes of your day.
Yeah. Like, no matter how bad the day was, I walk in and I see that kid, I'm like ecstatic. And that's like when you have that moment. And I understand everyone says when you have a child, like, things change you, but like, until you experience it, and you have to appreciate it, right? Because some people will still, I'm back to work, I'm gonna do this, I want to be like. Now someone asked me, do you have any what are your goals and desires? I'm like, I don't have any.
Yeah.
Like, I literally want my kid to go to private school. Like, that's my only, like, whatever it takes to do that.
Yeah.
Like, who do I have to talk to? How much money is that? I will save that, and that's
That is so funny. You're like planning that already. It's like, all right, let's sort out where the school's going. We got to make sure he gets the best of everything he needs.
Yeah, and that's it. And that's literally, like, I don't have any personal goals and desires now that I have a child.
Yeah.
And that, to me, is, like, when I talk about, like, karma and, like, what's important and, like, you know, I don't know. I just don't appreciate money like I used to.
Yeah, for sure.
It just doesn't mean anything to me anymore because it doesn't necessarily make you a happy person.
Yeah.
Because I've been around very successful people and they're not happy, like you said.
Let's take it back before you had some money then.
Yeah.
And go back to, you know, creating FiveFour and being at USC, you know, USC alumni, me too. So have that in common. Exactly. So let's talk about the starting a clothing brand, because was that like ever in your sights as a USC like freshman coming into college, like, hey, clothing is something that I want to get into?
No, you know, I definitely was interested in the idea of being an entrepreneur, but fashion was never anything of interest.
Yeah.
It really, like, I had started another business in college and I really enjoyed that process. It failed, but it was a good learning experience. And then when we were getting closer to our senior year, we were in the entrepreneurship program. You had to pick a business and focus on it all year. And that's when my friend Andres and I were really conceptualizing, like, what should we do? There was this big .com bust, so like tech was really out of favor. Like anything web tech, like people are like you know, do anything technology. It's like internet's over. Like that's literally what people
it was
were
cool
talking
while
about.
It lasted, but now it's over. Look at them today. Come on.
Yeah, this was like 2001. Like, you said internet, like you might have.
This was 2000 when we thought the internet was going to crash when it went the millennium. We're like, oh, computers are going to be done. They're not going to be here anymore.
Yeah,
after
exactly.
That.
Literally, and like if you said tech, it was being like a leper.
Yeah.
Like people did not want to invest in you. People were not interested. So we were like, what else is there? And you know, he was really into fashion, just personally shopping and stuff like that. So I just started learning more about it. And it was really just a fluke trip to New York City where he took me to a store and he's like, oh, we got to go. It's the first one in America.
Yeah.
So we end up walking into this store and I flipped the price tag and I was like, oh crap, it's only $30.
You could afford it.
And it was the first H&M store in America. And that's what really opened my eyes to like, oh, you can actually make affordable clothing.
Yeah.
And so the whole concept from the beginning was how to create an H&M, an American H&M. And that no one had done that. And frankly, no one has still done that.
Yeah.
And that's what inspired it. So then we started doing research on the industry. And the beautiful thing about clothing, it's kind of like music.
Yeah.
There's a very low barrier to entry.
Yeah.
Right? Like anyone
can get involved in it.
Yeah, all you have to do is we looked in the yellow pages, found a screen printer, and you know, went and made our first t-shirts and hoodies, right? And that's like music. You have you can go on your phone and
we were just talking about that last night. These days, the quality of what you can produce, you can start, but you do it by yourself. You don't need anyone else around you.
Exactly. And apparel was one of those industries where I was like, wow, we don't really need any real money.
Yeah.
Like I had a few $1,000 saved up and I was like, he had a few $1,000. Like we could start this with no money. We just have to go kind of hustle it and really get it on people and go visit stores. So that's what really attracted me to the business, because of low barrier entry. Because everyone else, you know, in our class, like, oh, I want to open a restaurant or I want to open
you need investors from the go.
Yeah, like, and 2001 was like a recession.
Who's gonna take a chance on someone that has no
two idiot kids? Literally, that's how I look at it. Like two idiot kids. And you know, college kids are the most arrogant people on earth.
Oh,
when I was in college, I thought I knew everything.
And then like, the next thing I do is going to be my $1 billion idea.
Yeah. I mean, the way college kids talk, I remember I was one of them. It was so arrogant. I'd be like, oh, yeah, we figured it all out.
Yeah.
And then, you know, 5 years later, I'm like, Mom, can you pay for lunch? I have no money. You know, it's like, But,
what did your first failure before you started FiveFour, what did that kind of like, did that teach you anything right then at college? Or were you still in that state where you're just like, fuck it, on to the next one?
Yeah, it was really on to the next one. I just felt like, oh, I can just start a business and it's going to have some level of success. So like there was an arrogance about the way I operated.
Yeah.
I don't think I ever really spent the time to really understand the industry and like really understand how challenging the opportunity was.
Yeah.
You know, it's the delusion of the entrepreneur, which is the greatest strength and the biggest weakness.
Yeah.
Because the reason why I love young people starting businesses, because you don't think you're gonna fail.
Yeah.
Because when you're 40 and you go start a business, you're analyzing everything and you'll never get started.
Yeah.
Because you're just like, this is not gonna work.
And you have so many other responsibilities.
Yeah, exactly. And so, but at the same time, you don't analyze all the challenges. Like, oh, we only need $5,000. Well, this is all,
That's easy.
Yeah, but it's, you need 500 grand.
Yeah,
or you need 5
yeah.
million. Like,
Yeah.
And that was really the problem that I didn't learn from my previous business. I was like, oh, whatever, this is gonna be easy.
Yeah.
But that's probably the reason why we started, because we thought we could do it. So
Yeah.
without that arrogance, we've never started the business.
Yeah.
But the real weakness in it is that we didn't assess all the challenges and the monies involved that would be needed to
along the way. Yeah.
Exactly.
When did it kind of like, when was the point where it started to kind of work? You know, like obviously you've done your thesis, your main project, and it's like, oh, we could actually do this.
I think one day we picked in the spring of 2002, it was like a Saturday, and we said, you know what? We're going to go hit stores and see if anyone will buy it.
Just you guys with the merchandise, backpacks.
College backpack,
Yeah.
line sheet, 4 t-shirts. I went to the Valley.
Yeah.
I grew up in Granada Hills, Northridge, so I went there.
Yeah.
Andres grew up in Mid-City, and my brother was with him because my brother was at USC.
Yeah.
So my brother went with Andres to a store in Silver Lake.
Yeah.
So I go to the Valley first. Within 15 minutes, I get an order.
Wow.
And I was like,
which is like, if people understand the clothing industry, like even getting an order
yeah,
at that stage is huge.
yeah. So I walked in and I was like, hey man, I grew up shopping here.
Yeah.
I have this brand, and the guy goes, you know what? I don't know. You're like a young kid. I want to give you a shot. I was like, really? And it was like 12 t-shirts. It wasn't like a big order or anything. But I was like, I called them and I'm like, yo,
I've got an order.
We're gonna
wrote
be rich.
an order. Yeah.
It's gonna be easy. He goes in. He's like, all right, I'm walking into the store. He calls me and goes, I got an order.
No way.
So within that was probably the worst thing that could have happened to us, because we were like, this is
easy. Every store we walk into, they're gonna buy shirts from us.
So literally, it was just like we ended up getting to 3 stores on the first day.
Yeah.
And so that's how the business starts.
Yeah.
And that was really the sign that said to us, this is actually possible.
Something. Yeah.
It's unclear if it's going to sell once it's in the store, but
yeah.
I'll give it people are willing to at least give us a shot.
Mm-hmm.
That's the beautiful thing about being young that people don't realize. When you're young, everyone will give you a shot.
Yeah.
Like if I were starting today, they'd be like, you haven't figured it out yet?
Yeah.
Like,
and they know that you're so young that all you're going to do is put everything into this business.
Exactly.
And passion and desire is going to like sometimes do better than your designs.
Yeah.
you know?
Like my first partner, investor in the business, one of the reasons why he ended up investing in us after it was about a 3rd or 4th year, I kept he used to operate a chain of skate shops that used to carry our brand. And I delivered the clothes the first time, and he's like, what's going on? He's like, oh, 5'4". He's like, cool, whatever. Doesn't say a word to me. Who's the owner?
Yeah.
I come back a few more times, and he's like, why are you here? And he's like, reorder. And he's like, what? He's like, that ugly shit sold?
He said that to you?
Yeah, literally said that ugly shit sold. And I was like, what do you mean? He's like, dude, that's the ugliest shit. Like, you guys are not good. You're not good. And I was like, okay. I don't say nothing.
Yeah.
Finally, I come back again for another reorder, and he's like, wait. He's like, let me see everything.
Yeah. What do you got?
Let me show you everything. And he's like, do you have a press book? What do you got? So show him this press book, show him all the clothes. And he's like, man, you guys aren't creative. Like, you don't know how to make clothes. Yeah. These are ugly. Mm-hmm. And he's like, but damn, you guys are hustlers. I cannot believe you survived 3 years, got into all these stores. Yeah. Our press book was like 100 pages. We had been.
How do you have a press book at that stage that's that thick when?
Because it was really about. So we were like in the first ever Complex magazine.
Wow.
Because we knew the people that worked there, and we had what we realized was. We didn't know how to make clothes. Sure, we create from a creative standpoint at that point, but we were really good at relationships. So you wanted to go out in LA, we took you out. You wanted to go to a hot restaurant, we knew where it was.
Yeah.
We had the relationships. So we used those relationships to build strong relationships with everybody. So people would just feature us out of like love. But not because it was this great product.
Which is what I think you also find within your brand. Even talking about the Chris Paul collaboration that that you do, it's like you don't see anything forced.
Yeah.
I don't think the brand looks forced in who you're putting it on, where it is.
Yeah.
And that's interesting to find that it's gone back since the days when you first started.
Yeah, and I think what we realized was our brand connected with our core audience so well when we first started. And as we got big, we felt like we lost that.
Yeah.
And now we're getting it back. Because now, like, this young customer is coming who doesn't know us, doesn't know our story. And kids hit me up now all day on Instagram and be like, damn, like, you actually really did it with nothing. He's like, I thought you were like a rich kid. Or, I thought, blah, blah, blah. Like, they don't know the story. And so now it's like inspiring, the next generation of like fashion design or entrepreneurs in general. Like, oh crap, I can do this.
Yeah.
And so that's really what, coming full circle is absolutely correct. And that moment, that guy, when he was telling us like, I'm going to help you guys. He literally says, because we asked him, like, we have no money. We literally can't pay our bills. We can't do anything. Finally, he's like, I'll help you.
The same guy that told you that your stuff sucks.
Yes. Is the person that saved our business.
Wow.
And he just believed in us as people.
Which comes back to the same thing about doing right by people and being good. Yeah. And these things will happen.
And you know what the crazy story about this? So this guy was 10 years older than me. So at that point, I was 24 years old.
Okay.
And he pulls me in his office when he's insulting me. And he's like, where'd you grow up? And this guy's smoking cigarettes in his office. And so he's 34 years old. He has like a Porsche. She's like Rolex. And I was like, man, this guy's a baller.
Hell yeah.
And he's like, where are you from? I go, Granada Hills. He's like, no way. And I'm like, why? He's like, I went to Granada Hills. And I'm like, are you serious? I'm like, you have to help me.
Yeah.
And he's like, done. And literally,
you're like Granada Hills to Granada Hills.
Yeah, like, and he's like, man, I never meet anyone doing from anything from Granada Hills. They're all losers. My classmates are losers. And I was like, really? And he's like, my classmates are pretty good. And then he's like, nah, it was a loser school when I was there.
Yeah.
And I was like, great. Well, now it's changing. So why don't you help change the tide? And he did. He helped, and like on some like weird Granada Hills alumni. And that was a perfect sign of like, you know what? I was pretty nice to everyone in high school. Like,
exactly.
So I got rewarded.
If he called anyone from high school and was like, yo, what do you think about this Dee guy? They'd be like, oh, yeah, he was super cool, really nice. Like, okay, perfect. Let's work together.
Yeah, and like, and it's funny that, that's the guy that ends up working with us. So, that's who helps us kind of build our business to the next level.
So your FiveFour Clothing at this stage is a wholesaler.
The wholesaler to retailers.
Completely different to where it is today.
Correct.
Where does that shift happen? And I'll let you say, because I feel like I saw a shift like that in Australia happen, but I want to hear where it kind of happened with you.
The first inkling of why we thought the business model was broken, our old business model, was when the recession hit. Yeah. When the recession hit, we got into the worst shape. Like most of our customers went out of business and never paid us. Yeah. We had returns, you got cancellations, you get all that stuff. So it was a very, very scary
How do you handle that as a young company?
It's really tough. Like, there would be a guy from a major retailer. He'd be like, you know what? That stitching is a little too brown. I'm going to have to return all the jeans.
No way.
And I'm like, it's $2.5 million of jeans. And he's like, yeah, it's canceled. And I'm like, I don't know what to do.
And you have no leverage in that situation.
Zero. Because if I say no, he's never going to buy any product from me ever again. Yeah. And if I say yes, I don't have anywhere to sell. 50,000 jeans, 60,000 jeans. And so those things, it was a very stressful time. Yeah. And our partner at that time was like, I don't have any more money. Like, I'm getting burned on everything that he's involved in. So it was just a really ugly time. And that's really the first sign where we were like, we got to go direct to the consumer. Yeah. But it was so early internet. So like we had a website up. Yeah. But the concept of driving traffic to a website was like, okay, 2008, like how are you getting somebody to your website? Yeah. I don't even know how people were getting people to it. Like it was like banner ads.
Yeah. Even everything that was on the internet was still shopfront. Yeah. So it was still coming through someone because we knew the name of the shop we were going to buy.
Yeah, you weren't able to advertise on Facebook or Instagram or anything, right? And so finally, we were like, well, let's go direct. So direct at that point meant opening up stores for us. Yeah. So we ended up opening up 3 retail stores. Which is a terrible idea.
So expensive.
It wasn't for us because Westfield Group came to us and said, we love the energy you guys have as a brand. We'll help you build out your stores. We'll give you cheap rent. Just even with all that, we couldn't make it work.
They do that? Would Westfield still do that for
Not
companies?
right now. Right now, rents are booming.
Yeah.
Because like you see Century City.
Yeah, exactly.
But in a recession,
in the moment,
like
because they can't have stores that are empty.
It's bad for business.
Yeah.
So like we got 50% off rent. They gave us money to build it out. Pick any mall in the country. Half the mall is empty.
Yeah.
Go anywhere. So we picked 3 malls. We opened in 6 months. We had 3 stores open, and we were like, okay, we're gonna open up 30 stores with Westfield. But opening up a retail store for guys is a terrible idea because there's no guys in the damn mall. Yeah. And so we had that issue, and then there was just that. It got so bad in the mall. That's why you see there's like a resurgence in retail now because the experience sucked.
Yeah.
Right? Like the food was bad.
Yeah.
The music was bad. The parking was stupid.
terrible.
Like the whole thing. Like
no one wanted to go to the mall.
Yeah. It just died, and like. The customer was very price sensitive. They were looking for deals. It was just like ugly retail times.
Was that the start of like the huge sale boom? Like everything's always on sale. Like I remember when I was younger, it was like, there was only very specific times when you could go and get a 50% off or a 70% off, whatever it was. Now it seems like every day it's 50% off somewhere.
Yeah, that's literally right when the recession hit. It was like, and we were all talking about it in the industry. We're like, it's probably going to take 10 years to get off this, if at all.
Yeah.
And it hasn't. Still very promotional to this day. And I think when that was such like 2008, 2009 is the closest thing that our generation has had to like the Depression.
Yeah.
Depression was far worse.
Yeah.
But no jobs. There was no free. You didn't have discretionary income. Like you didn't do anything. You traded down on every part of your life.
That you owned. Yeah.
Yeah. You got a cheaper
smaller house. Cheaper car.
Like my age group people had written off the idea of owning a home.
Yeah.
Because we were like, well, we're not even.
This is not even possible.
No, it's not possible. And like. So all that thing, so we knew there was a shift in the industry was happening. We're like, gotta go direct.
Yeah.
So we did the store first. Then we started learning about how to market our brand online.
Yeah.
And then like a really chance meeting. This is really crazy. So my brother had told me, oh, subscription. But I was like, whatever. I don't give a crap about subscription.
Yeah.
We can't even pay.
That's a magazine. Like, subscribe. That's what the only time you subscribe is to a magazine or something.
And then, funny enough, I'm sitting in our store at Century City Mall.
Yeah.
Obviously, it's empty. No one's coming in.
Yeah.
And Grant Shapiro, TJ?
Oh, well, like Shapiro is in.
Like Robert Shapiro's
Yeah, Robert
son.
Shapiro's son. Yeah.
So Grant was at the mall.
Okay.
And he's like, yo, I'm cruising through with my dad.
So he was a friend of yours at this. Okay, got you.
And he's like, we're going to come in. So him and his dad come in. His dad starts asking me questions about the business.
Yeah.
And he's like, oh, very, very impressive. You guys have been around this long. It's like, cool. I'm like, what are you guys here for? He's like, oh, I just invested in this new business with Kim Kardashian as the face. Do you guys want to, do you want to meet her?
Yeah.
And I'm like, nah, I don't really care to meet her. And he's like, no, you should meet her. You should meet her.
This is like pre-keeping up with the Kardashians.
I think it had started already.
Okay, got you.
So it was probably 2011.
Okay, got you. Yeah.
And he's like, come check it out. Come meet. And I'm like, all right, whatever. So I go and I look at the line. I'm like, what is this business for?
Yeah.
And he's like, it's a business called Shoe Dazzle. It's a subscription shoe service.
Yeah.
And I'm like, how does it work? And he's like, well, you pay $39 a month. You fill out a quiz. And then a stylist curates one shoe for you. We make all the shoes, costing them $12 to make the shoe.
Yeah.
And we send you a shoe every month. And and then you
Low
keep
overheads.
going. And I was like, wow, that is genius.
Yeah. And it's in your price point of like what you are doing with your company.
Exactly. So I go back to the office. I said, hey, you were talking about subscription, right? And they were like, yeah. I'm like, look what this guy's doing.
Yeah.
And we were all like, holy crap, we got to figure this out. And then we came up with the FiveFour Club and launched it 6 months later.
How did that... Because at that stage, you're throwing all your eggs in one basket. And this is something that I feel like when I'm sitting down with people on Game Changers, you see a lot of. You see that moment where it's either sink or swim.
Yeah.
How's that transition for you as a company where you're kind of going, all right, we're closing down shops, we're stopping being a wholesaler, and we're going to do subscription model.
Yeah. And the problem is it's not that black and white where you're like, oh, we have options. We don't have options.
No.
You're just like, fuck it. Let's just go do this because there's no other option.
There's no other option.
Because it's like, if we don't figure this out, then no one gets paid this week.
Yeah.
You know, it's literally like, it was that bad.
Yeah.
Where like payroll wasn't being met, you know, stuff like that. So
were people telling you you're crazy? Because like you were at the precipice of like being the first menswear line really to do this.
Yeah.
Were people looking like, yo, this ain't gonna work?
You know, they weren't even paying attention to us.
Really?
Yeah. Like, I wish they were saying, I could say,
kind of bad. Yeah.
Stay away from they. There was no they because no one cared what we were doing.
There was, whatever these guys over at 5'4" are doing, whatever.
Yeah. I mean, they're probably going to go out of business.
Yeah.
So there wasn't like this mad, like, you know, hate.
But it worked.
You know, what happened was we launched it in May. For 18 months, we really kind of just focused on like learning how the business would operate, and we kind of kept the rest of the business afloat.
Yeah.
And then in finally December of 13 is when we shut everything else down and focused on subscription.
Yeah.
And talking about like good energy and good karma. So the day we launched the club was May 7th or 8th, 2012. I forget. And I get a text from my friend. His name's Kevin Pereira. He was a host of a show on the G4 network called Attack of the Show. Yeah. It was like a TRL type format show for the gaming community.
Wow, okay.
And he'd always wore 5'4", and he'd always supported us, and, you know, just a fan of the brand, and we just hit it off and became friends.
Yeah.
And he goes, text me the morning we launched Club, and he goes, hey, man, I just want to let you know, because you've been really good to me, today's the last day of the show. We're shutting down. The network is being sold, and I'm going to go on to do other things. But I just want to let you know. Plus, do you want me to plug anything? Because this is the last day.
Because he's like, it's the last day of my show. I could plug whatever I want, really, because nothing else is coming from it at the end of this.
I go, actually, we just started a subscription service. Do you mind plugging it? He said, explain to me how it works. Give me a code. No joke. I don't think the club would have survived or even existed if it wasn't for this guy's plug.
Really?
We got 1,000 members by the afternoon, paying $60 a month.
That's crazy.
Literally by 5 p.m. we had 1,000 people. We had charged $60,000 in credit cards
in one day
because of this guy's show.
See, it's exactly the same thing.
Yeah.
Coming back around in full circle.
Yeah, and like he was just a guy that came through his agent and became friends, and he, oh, you need clothes, whatever. We were always cordial, and it was literally that moment, and then that 1,000 members allowed us to test the concept and say, oh, this is real.
I was just gonna ask that. Where did you go to get advice on this concept of subscription model? Because I know you started with 8 questions.
Yeah.
Where do you go to even like figure out where
it's
those
really
questions
following
come from?
like Shoe Dazzle.
Yeah.
We saw what they were doing, and we were like, how does it work?
Yeah.
And they were the real kind of, call it mentor, you know, inadvertently, they were the people that we kind of followed. And it's like, how do you handle customer service? How do you acquire a customer? How do you do merchandising? So we took a lot of those kind of leads and applied it to our business.
Have you seen a lot of changes along the way? Because I feel like in fashion, it's so ever changing, and you know, we see these clothing companies come up and disappear. How does, you know, FiveFour Club stay in tune with what's going on?
Yeah, so like, for example, we started in May 2012. Till the end of 17, our subscription service was FiveFour Club, getting product of 5'4" every month. Yeah. This past January, we evolved it and called it now the Menlo Club for 2 reasons. One is separating the brand from the service side of the business. Yeah. Secondly, we had created all these new brands in the last 3 years because our customer was like, I want shoes, I want activewear. And we didn't want to do everything under the name 5'4" because, like, who wants to wear one brand for everything? Yeah. No one wears Ralph Lauren shoes. Like, nobody. Yeah. Right? Like, you buy the underwear maybe a polo shirt, but you're not wearing the ski jacket.
Same with Calvin Klein. It's like, you want to wear the underwear, the girls want to wear the tight little bra.
Yeah, but you're not trying to be drenched in Calvin. And so we were like, for every new category we launch, we're going to launch a new brand. And so we launched this shoe brand, and it became wildly successful. Then we launched this activewear brand, and it's becoming successful. So what we decided to do in the Menlo Club was really offer all of this product so that in a year, a guy gets a real full experience, a taste of a little bit of everything. Yeah. And if he likes it, he can shop more on the site. Yeah. So now it's 8 months of 5'4", 2 months of the shoe brand, and 2 months of the activewear brand, Grand AC.
I feel like you guys are almost the stylish girlfriend that is picking out
Yeah.
your outfits for the guys that don't have that girl next to them to like make them look good.
Yeah, and what we realize is like meeting with the customer, because like, you know, guys will come up to me like at a bar or a restaurant, or if I'm traveling, and say, "Oh, I'm a member."
Yeah.
And it's funny because when we first started the club, we thought, oh, it's for guys who don't want to shop or hate fashion or hate. They're just like, I don't care, just send me something. And it turned out to be very different than I thought. It actually turned out to be a guy that's too busy.
Yeah.
And he wants to look good. He actually cares about his appearance. He's actually pretty stylish.
Yeah.
He's like an entrepreneur. He got 2 jobs. He's got, you know, he's like so many kids I meet. Like, I work here, I drive Uber, and then I promote clubs.
Yeah.
Like, I'm doing everything. And I'm like, I don't have an ounce of time to think about going for clothes. It's kind of like with my lunch.
Yeah.
I've had the same exact lunch for 10 years.
Because it's so easy to do.
Yeah,
You don't have
like
time
my
to
wife,
do anything different.
Like, the moment I met my wife and she became my girlfriend, I was like, can you make me lunch? And she literally just made me the same exact meal. And I was like, I don't want anything different. I don't want to even have to think about the concept of eating something different.
Yeah.
This is good on my stomach.
Yeah.
I'm content. Eating to me during lunch is just a function, not something I need to enjoy. Just get me the same damn thing and it's good.
Something I get asked a lot, especially like with clothing, and like I'll get clothes sent to me, and kids will hit me up like, hey, could you like maybe wear this, or like let me know how to like get in contact with people. Is that like a good idea still for young brands to just be sending out clothes to people, or is there a smarter and better way to do it?
Yeah, like I even get hit up. Like, people ask me, can I send you clothes? I'm literally the worst person to send clothes to. Let's just say even you thought I was somewhat relevant to wearing your clothes. Yeah. I have 7 brands.
Why would you be wearing something else besides your own company?
Yes. It's very nice. It's very kind of them to think that it'd be great if I wore their brands. But they should focus. What I think is more important is it's not... get your clothes on the most famous person. Cool. If you can get it on Kanye or Travis, you should.
Yeah.
They're going to affect your business.
For sure.
The rest of it should be, why don't you go build a relationship with someone that actually loves what you're doing and use them as your brand ambassador, or use them as a conduit to get people to know it. It's more important to connect with that person who's actually wearing it rather than hoping someone wears it. Yeah, there are instances where celebrities can move the needle if they wear your product. Yeah. But I've had everyone wear it. We've had Jay-Z. We've had all those people wear it. Those are none of the reasons why our brand is successful. If none of them ever wore it, we'd still be fine. Yeah.
Something that you're very involved in that has had that same kind of trajectory was Young and Reckless clothing. Yeah. You know, you partnered over there with Drama.
Yeah.
What kind of saw your eye in that in the early days with, you know, him being on Fantasy Factory and Robin Big before that, and then deciding that, you know, this clothing label Young and Reckless is a good idea and this is the right place to do it?
I think the interesting thing about Young and Reckless was it actually came at a time where the FiveFour business was struggling.
Really?
So it was 2009.
Okay.
And people were pitching us ideas like, hey, you guys have the infrastructure. I want to do this. I want to do this. And Drama had pitched me before Fantasy Factory had started, hey, would you... Ironically, he asked me for $400 a month to promote FiveFour.
He said, give me $400 and I'll wear the clothes on... Yeah. He only asked for $400 a month?
Yeah, because that's what Echo was paying him.
Okay.
And I was like, no, I've never heard of you.
Yeah.
Yeah, and
said, yeah, good try, bro.
And then fast forward, the show airs... It's very popular, and I didn't really know who they were. I knew that they had a very popular following, but I didn't understand why, and I didn't understand the show. And I was already out of the MTV kind of viewing range at that point in my life. I was 29 years old. Yeah. And I go, I end up watching, randomly I was home one day and on a weekend, and I ended up binge watching like 8 episodes of Fantasy Factory, and I was like, wow, this show is awesome. Yeah. Like, I get why young guys especially like this show.
I was hooked on. I lived in Australia.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
So then so he connects with me again, and he's like, let's do this. And I'm like, you know what? Let's give it a shot. I'm like, you'll guarantee placement on the show? He's like, yeah. So we make a couple samples. He goes, films it. He comes up with a concept with Rob. They put it on. There he goes. It's going to be the season premiere.
Yeah.
Amazing. Season 2, season premiere. August 2009.
Yeah.
I was like, give me a copy of the episode in advance. Like, as early as
Because the
possible.
clothes aren't even out anywhere yet. No one can buy them.
We literally made 4 shirts. And I go,
It's all perception.
Yeah, like literally give me, let's, if I can get it into stores, we should time it with when the show comes out. So kids will be like, they watch it on a Thursday and Friday it's in the mall.
Out, yeah.
And they'll be like, oh my God, that's Drama's line.
That's
I can't believe he did it, right?
Yeah.
So he was able to get MTV to giving me an episode.
Yeah.
So I literally took like my laptop to PacSun, Zoomies, Tilly's, Journeys, Hot Topic, you name it. Every store. Every single store picked it up. I'm talking, we were in 5,000 stores day one. And
wow.
I was like, holy crap. And I mean, like literally I'd be like, I need an order. And it'd be like, this is going to go into all, getting an all-store buy.
All-store buys
is just insane. And every single one gave me an all-store buy.
Wow.
So I was like,
so you're going from zero production to like having to start it up here.
Yeah. So I was like, holy crap. And by the way, the show hasn't aired yet.
Yeah.
And so the show airs. It's literally Young and Reckless is trending on Twitter worldwide because it was really, that's where everyone was kind of marketing on Twitter.
Yeah.
And the next day it hits the mall. I go to a couple stores and I'm like, oh, is it selling? They're like, yeah, actually people are coming asking for it.
Yeah.
And because we had said like, go get it at PacSun, Zoomies, Tilly's, whatever. I get the selling reports the Monday. 3 days later, it just blew out everywhere.
Wow.
And I was like, holy crap. And instantly, it was like internet sensation today. Like you couldn't recreate what happened to that brand.
It was like a perfect storm.
Perfect storm. And then they kept integrating it into the show as the episodes progressed. And then 3 months after it, we were like, you know what? These are the retailers we really enjoyed working with. We picked PacSun as like the main one.
Yeah.
And we kind of clipped most of the other guys and said, let's go grow this business with PacSun. And 9 years, like if I told you when we launched Young and Reckless, the brands that were in PacSun were DC, Fox Racing, Volcom, all that crap.
Yeah.
We're the only one that's still around.
Yeah.
Now we sit next to Tommy, Calvin, Champion, Bog, Fear God's Diffusion line, all that stuff.
Yeah.
Literally the only brand that was from that generation that has still evolved and survived.
Well, that's another thing that I wanted to get into, like evolving, especially with like someone like Drama. At that stage, he was so like fresh and young.
Yeah.
And then, fast forward to today, his style is so different. His lifestyle is so different to what he was doing back then. How do you still keep that connection with the younger audience that still want to buy the PacSun that the box tee or whatever, whatever it looks like, to kind of like where you have the more fashionable side of Young and Reckless?
Yeah, I think like you got to always lead the customer because if you keep listening to what they want, then you'll never evolve. We realized, we need to go into denim.
Yeah.
And no one was asking for denim.
Yeah.
But I was like, I think we're a good denim manufacturer. We've always been really good with denim. So I was like, we should go into denim. So we gave it a shot. The retailers didn't really bite. So we put it on our site. And then I was like, sold pretty well. I'm like, let's go heavier into outerwear. Let's go into this.
Yeah.
And our design team was pretty talented in evolving us from like a t-shirt brand to this full fashion. And really what happened with Drama is that he grew up.
Yeah.
Right? Like he was 21 when I met him and he was a reality TV star. Yeah. He cared about cars and watches and models and whatever. And then the business grew. He was successful. He made money. And it was funny, like when he was like, I don't know, like one of his younger birthdays, like when I was young, my dad would give me a book and write a little note and send, sign it and date it and say, read this one day.
Yeah.
And I never read any of it.
Yeah.
And then I got older and I remember I was like, what do I get this guy for his birthday? Like he doesn't need anything. So I got him a book. Like, I think I got him Steve Jobs' book or whatever, one of those books. And I signed it like my dad did, and I gave it to him. And he was like, I'm not going to read it. Like, whatever. Fast forward, and I think part of it is because who he ended up partnering with. Like, we're not traditional apparel people at the end of the day. Like, we take everything pretty seriously. We appreciate the opportunity, and we don't mess around. Yeah. So he was around a bunch of people that aren't wasting time and money and doing the stupid things. Yeah. So he matured differently than maybe his peers would have matured. I mean, instead of, like we did the clubs, we did all that, but he just wasn't into that. And then finally one day he wakes up and he's like, you know what? And I was really a big believer that you need to get your real personality out there. Yeah. because people be like, oh, he's Rob's assistant, he picks up shit, or like,
Yeah.
you know, mini horse, or which is nonsense. And I'm like, man, it's so frustrating because he's actually very smart,
For sure.
very well spoken, and this show is actually affecting the way you're being perceived.
And he probably felt like he was in a space or a bubble where he had to act like that.
Yeah.
Because that's what everyone knew him as.
Yeah, and so he always felt uncomfortable playing an idiot.
Yeah.
Right? And because I was like, especially then one day he wakes up and he starts reading.
Yeah.
And he's like, I don't want to wear my watch anymore. I don't care about fancy cars. Like, I don't care about that stuff. I'm reading.
Yeah.
I'm improving myself. I quit smoking.
Yeah.
I got into health and wellness. Soul Cycle with Eric.
Well, that's just the great thing about the picture that I believe you're painting, and I believe Drama is painting, and I love that Eric Deluxe is in there as well. And like, I was working with Eric when he was kind of not in that space.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And for people that have influence to really show the younger youth in society that like these things are good. You know what I mean? You can have fun and party and still read. And still sit with business people and have these opportunities. And it doesn't have to be alcohol, girls, fast cars, and wild nights every night. You know what I mean? Everyone likes to go out and have a nice night out and whatnot.
But that story's been told. You can do that anytime. There's plenty of other things that I think you'll actually appreciate at the end of the day. It's kind of like I always joke around. I'm like, I've never felt accomplished until I've done like completed a race, a marathon, a triathlon. I've done these things. That's like when I felt like a physical feat to me was a sign of real accomplishment. Like that was the first time when I finished a triathlon, I felt like a man. Yeah. I was a boy until I did a triathlon.
What is running for you right now? Because I see it all over your social media, and you're so passionate. You had like you even had like the walk to work for a month or whatever it was. But it's so cool, and I feel like it's like part of who you are.
Yeah, because running, it gave me so much to my life. It gave me balance. Gave me like some clarity. Yeah. And it's really because like I just wanted something to do. Like there's a lot of folks that meditate. Yeah. I can't meditate. Yeah. You know, it's hard for me to do that. But so running on the street with no music by myself is my meditation.
It's crazy you say no music, because I sat with DJ Vice. He was on Game Changers a couple of weeks ago. And he said the same thing. He runs with no music. Yeah. And he does the mile a day, which I've started doing since talking to him. What is it about no music that like...
I want to hear the breath. I want to hear the street sound. Like I just literally like don't like. And honestly, I'll go run 10 miles. Yeah. I know the words to every song and how long they are. Yeah. If I lose the music, I'll be like, oh, I've only ran 6 minutes. God's plan's like 2 minutes and 50 seconds.
So like, true, right?
So then I'm like, when you're running for 2 hours or 1 hour, it's like you don't need a 4 minute. You know, like the songs. Like I remember it just doesn't make sense. So for me, running was an opportunity for me to have that moment of clarity, and it's done so much for me that I'm trying to get other people to do it. Yeah. And not to say go run, just go be active. Yeah. Because it's addicting. Yeah. To be healthy is very addicting.
And it makes you feel so much better. Everything else seems to align when you do these things.
Yeah, and it happens to everyone at a certain age, and I'm just like, I wish it happened to me at 30. Yeah. But I wish it had happened to me at 21. Like I think it would have changed the trajectory of my life if I got into health and wellness at a younger age. Yeah. And so like 30 is not old to do it. Like my dad got into it at like 60. You know, he just decided he stopped drinking, got healthy, and like because he was realizing that it's not good for his life. But like, I just think that it's something that I highly recommend, because people are pretty reckless about their health and wellness till something happens. Then you go to that doctor's appointment and they're like, you're going to die. Yeah. You have this disease. You have diabetes. You have high
your liver's failing.
Yeah. It's like things like that. That scares people. And like, that's really what I don't want, you know. And I still have a lot to go in that department in terms of my health and wellness, but running was my first step in getting there.
Is that something that inspires your creativity moving forward? Because I feel like obviously as you grow, you find different things that are going to inspire you and really like make you want to create or make you want to like take something to the next level. Yeah. Like is that something that inspires you, and kind of like where is your space of like what you look for that inspires you now?
Yeah, now I think if you apply your personal life to your business, the best way is, instead of trying, let's say like for example, the beauty industry is really hot right now. So people are trying to come up with beauty ideas all the time. instead of just trying to come up with a beauty idea, why don't you look at yourself and be like, where does beauty play into my personal life? Like, you know, do I need, like, if I'm losing my hair, how do I apply that to myself? So you can be authentic and be like, I'm losing my hair. Yeah. I need to figure something out. Otherwise,
be who you are, because people spot a fake or a phony so easily.
Exactly.
Now.
And that's why, like, the inspiration really comes, like, I've made the marketing for activewear or brand around my running. Yeah. And I'm like, I'm not LeBron James. And by the way, I can't get him to market our brand. Yeah. So I have to give that dream up. So I have to be like the face of our brand, because I can't afford to pay A-list athletes. I can get C and D-list athletes, but they're not going to sell any product. No. But when you look at my running, you'll be like, yeah,
he can run. Yeah. This is what he's doing. Yeah. He's looking good doing it.
Yeah, he's a late 30-something-year-old Indian dude.
Which is smarter for your business model and your brand anyway, because people can connect with you.
Exactly. And that's really what ultimately, like, the best thing that I think I've learned from our business and being an entrepreneur is you have to, like everyone says, keep it real. Like, it is true. Yeah. You do it that way. I just think you have the chance of success, and you're seeing it happen live for so many people and brands, and you know, like you see like LeVar Ball, and you see what he's doing. He's just being himself. Yeah, he was in a living room saying this. Now he's on ESPN saying it. Yeah, and he did not change his way because he's on the spotlight, and it worked. Yeah. And so I just think, you know, you don't necessarily have to speak like he does, but like you just have to keep it authentic. Like if you're into running, don't be ashamed of who you are. Because I remember when I was younger, I was like, oh, I got to be cool. I got to have the watch. I got to, you know, dress like this and act like that. And then when I actually became an adult, I was like, it doesn't matter. Yeah. Whatever. Like I like frozen bean and cheese burritos. I'll listen to Fleetwood Mac, Tekashi 6ix9ine. Yeah. And I want my kid to take calculus when he's 8 years old. Like, I'm a nerd, and I want my kid to be a nerd. He doesn't need to be cool.
Be yourself.
Exactly. Like, don't. And I think that being yourself is finally becoming cool. Cool. Like, it's okay to be smart. Yeah. It's okay to be nice. It's okay to, you know, be healthy. But those things in the past, everyone was, probably because of pre-social media, this was a normal person, and everyone strived to be that person. Yeah, and that wasn't organic for most people.
By no means.
And now, like, if you're into video games, be a video game guy. If you're into fitness, be a fitness guy.
Because there's someone that they can look at in that industry and be like, oh wow. Yeah. Other people respect them.
That's the beauty of like the youth today. If you're 12 years old or 15 or 25 and you're into something, there's somewhere on the internet you can find someone that's doing that looks like you and is doing it.
That's beautiful. And it's a beautiful time, really.
Yeah, it's like people always hit me up like, oh man, it's so cool, a brown person doing this. I'm like, there's a lot of brown people doing it. I'm just the only one talking about it. Yeah. There's a lot of Indian people in fashion and entertainment and stuff like that. You just don't know who they are. And I think that's really where there's a clear opportunity for a lot of people is like, just be yourself. Yeah. And then go pursue your passion and you'll find that true inspiration.
Yeah. It's like, before we get out of here, like I want to say, like, you know, say you walk into USC right now and you walk into one of these classes and there's someone standing there and they're like, because from what I hear in the fashion industry, everyone's always like, don't get in the fashion industry. Yeah. Everyone always says that. Nah, like I lived with guys that were struggling in the fashion industry every day, and then I go to USC and I'd be like, yo, why are you guys doing this fashion? Like, you hate it. Yeah. Well, like if someone really wants to do it and like you tell them, yo, don't do it. Yeah. What's something that you wish that you kind of had been told back when you were starting FiveFour?
I don't know. I mean, the problem is there's this fashion industry today is whatever you want it to be. Like, I think the beautiful thing about where all these industries are at today, there's an opportunity for everyone. Like, if you want to be the guy that makes custom jackets for 10 people, you could probably make a living doing that. Yeah. If you want to be the guy, you could be whatever you want, and you could probably find a customer because of social media. And I think the key to it is you have to be the biggest thing that I think the guy that told me that we sucked helped me realize is be self-aware. Most people on earth are not self-aware. Yeah. And it's why they don't have strong relationships. It's why they put out crappy products. I remember when he would tell me it sucked. And I just didn't understand it. And then what my eye-opening experience was when I went to our first time we were in Macy's. We were in the Beverly Center. Huge section. They bought a ton of product because we were a hot brand.
Yeah.
I walk in, I look around the store, and I'm like, why the fuck is anyone buying FiveFour? I'm like, I don't even want it. I'd rather buy, there's Ralph is on sale, 50 off, Tommy's here on sale. Like, ours is full price.
Yeah.
And it looks okay.
Yeah.
And like, that is the piece of advice I always give people now is like, you need to take a step back. Your friend's going to tell you it's great. Your mom's going to tell you it's great.
Yeah.
They're lying to you.
Yeah.
100%.
They have to.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Right? Like the custom, when you put out a t-shirt and it's $35, think about what else that person can spend $35 on. A round of drinks.
Yeah.
3 months of Netflix. Like that's what you're competing against.
Yeah.
And no one ever tells anyone that. Like they just say.
That's interesting to think like that.
Yeah. And like that's what I would be like. And by the way, the cost of a Supreme tee, if you can actually get it at retail, is $35. So
that's a whole nother freaking story.
Yeah, but that's your competing against.
Yeah.
If you can get the Supreme tee, who's going to take your brand over the Supreme tee?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's just like you have to be really self-aware of like your actual product, your price, your marketing, your branding, all those things, and then take a step back and like, is anyone going to buy this?
Yeah.
Because most people don't think, everyone who does create something thinks their shit is amazing.
Yeah.
I've sat down with artists who would be like, I'm going to win 5 Grammys with this thing, and I'm like, okay, cool, let's hear it.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah, it's good, but like I don't think it's gonna work. Like but I'm not in music, so I don't know. And in fashion, I could look at it and be like, from a product standpoint, at the very least, if your product's not good, you don't even give yourself a chance.
Yeah.
And the problem is everyone thinks whatever they do is good.
Is the best. Yeah.
You see this.
You kind of have to do that though.
Agree, but you have to also be realistic. And self-aware. Be like, okay, you bought a blank.
Yeah.
You put a graphic on it.
Yeah.
Okay, that puts you in a group of 10,000 other people.
Yeah.
Maybe who's wearing that shirt could change all the difference. So if you have the relationship with
to put it on someone,
put it on Travis Scott, cool. You're now one leg ahead of that person.
Yeah.
But now you have to make it, you have to ship it, and the customer, you have to charge his credit card, and he has to fit him, and all that stuff has to happen for him to come back again.
Yeah.
So it's just a lot. You just have to be very self-aware of like what you're actually trying to get someone to do, because spending money on something it's not easy.
That's the hardest thing that we all fight for in every aspect of our life.
Yeah.
It's either money or time.
Yeah,
is what we're always looking for.
Exactly. And I just think that's why self-awareness to me is such a big thing. And it's very hard to be self-aware when you're a delusional entrepreneur.
Yeah.
Because when I start something, I think it's the greatest till I put it out there and I'm like, oh shit, it didn't
and then
sell.
It tanks and you're like, I guess it wasn't so good.
Yeah. But we're smart enough to know we're going to go in with that energy.
Yeah.
But as soon as it doesn't work, we're changing.
Change it.
Boom. Let's figure it out.
Yeah.
Like when we launched a shoe brand, we were convinced the opportunity was in the dress shoe market.
Yeah.
And then we launched it and we were like, nobody wears dress shoes anymore.
Yeah.
Because everyone wears casual
shoes. Always.
So then we launched a Chelsea boot and boom, the business exploded.
Yeah.
You know, it literally went through the roof overnight. But we didn't say, we're going to figure out dress shoes until we figure it out.
Yeah.
No, we're like, we gave up. Dress shoes over. We never ordered another one again after the first time we ordered it.
That's smart, though. That's smart, you know? One thing I wanted to touch on, because we touched on it when we first started, was just Virgil.
Yeah.
And his influence. And I feel, I also saw it when you guys spoke on it on group chat, you and Drama. Him moving into this position with Louis Vuitton is insane. What does that mean for like fashion and for like culture, especially in the streetwear area?
Yeah, I think this is the first true validation that this is going to be way bigger than everyone thought it was going to be.
Yeah.
Because if Louis does it, that means everyone's doing it. They may not find the right person like they got.
Yeah.
But because it's so streetwear, even though it's like consumes our life. Yeah. It's a blip on the radar and still fashion, right? Like there's the biggest brand in streetwear is still only Supreme, and it doesn't do $1 billion a year.
Crazy.
But if you look at menswear premium, there's $10 billion brands. Yeah. Take women's, there's 100. Yeah. So it's still in the early infant stages. So there's a lot of opportunity there, and that Louis Vuitton solidifying Virgil as like their creative director says that like the movement is going to come. It's going to be bigger than ever, and I just don't see another genre of clothing for men existing outside of streetwear. Really? Because I think it's just reflective of But I'm not saying it all has to look like the way Off-White looks.
Yeah.
I'm just saying I think it's street inspired. Like this culture is going to drive, like how J. Crew, like that Hampton preppy lifestyle represented the previous generation, their entire look.
Yeah.
You know, Gap was
Affluence
like that J. Crew,
and where
Ralph Lauren,
people wanted to get to.
Tommy, they're all that preppy prep school look.
Yeah.
That's not what we aspire to be anymore. We want to be Virgil, hopping on a jet to XS, DJ, go do a museum tour at Mocha.
In your J's or in your Yeezys or whatever. Yeah.
Like I live in West Hollywood. I eat breakfast very early with my child if we're on the weekend. And it's all these old Beverly Hills dudes. They're all wearing Yeezys.
Yeah.
They're wearing Off-Whites.
It's so funny to say.
They're not wearing Louis Vuitton.
Yeah.
They're not. That's why Louis Vuitton went to the guy and said, you know what? They're wearing. Okay, you can't get Kanye.
Yeah.
So get Virgil.
Who's next? Yeah.
Yeah.
I love it. What's Menlo Club? Menlo is it Menlo Club or Menlo
So there's
House?
Menlo Club is a subscription.
Okay.
Menlo House is the e-com site where you can buy whatever you want.
Okay. What are they doing next? What are you guys doing there next?
We have more brands in the pipeline, and that's really what it's evolving, like the offering.
Yeah.
We really want a one-stop shop for guys. Think Amazon Prime for men.
I love it.
So we'll be doing the soaps, your deodorant. You're gonna do everything.
Yeah, man. Honestly, thank you for sitting down with me, and thank you for kind of like being open to sharing your story, because it's a great story and it's going to inspire a lot more people for sure.
Cool, man. Appreciate it.
Thank you, brother.
Definitely.